Alright, going over the list that we're doing tonight. Tonight we're going to try our Sanctifiers in the deck, because every time I leave it out of the deck, we are having issues running into decks that we won it against, so we're leaving Core Firewalker on the sidelines, which means we'll probably run into Burn tonight, but that happens. Anyways, if you're catching this on YouTube later, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and if you're catching this on Twitch later, hopefully you will give us a follow if you do like Modern Burn. So the list tonight, we kind of leave in the 2 Lightning Helix, 2 Skullcrack that we've been running in the main deck. We're continuing to shuffle around the sideboard. Going to continue trying Wear Tear, a split on Wear Tear and Smash to Smithereens, simply because we've been running into more ley lines than we have actual artifact decks like Hammertime. And beyond that, Sanctifier and Vecca has popped up a few times where we wanted this in our sideboard. Basically every time that we remove it from our sideboard, we end up regretting it in some matchup or other. Beyond that, Path and Deflecting Palm, I've been kind of liking the 2-2 split on those. And then Roiling Vortex just helps in a lot of the matchups that can be troubling, like most of the Cascade matchups that just seem to be popping up more and more of late in the leagues that we've been doing. So that said, let's get into some matches and see how the deck goes. Alright, we're on the play here for match number 1. One lander, a little bit risky. I don't think on the play we can keep this hand. I mean, it's fine in terms of like the spell quantity and such, but just the 1 lander on the play just doesn't seem like we want. Then immediately mulligan into a no lander. Okay. Alright, so this 5-card hand. What do we want to keep? Just keep the creatures and get rid of the spells. It's going to fetch Basic Mountain to avoid taking too much damage from combination of Eidolons and such. Opponent is an Omnath deck. But they're a 60-card variant as opposed to an 80-card variant, which is interesting. Oh, they're on Glimpse. Okay. So do I want to expose Eidolon to a potential Fury next turn, or do I want to get it into play and hope? Guess we'll risk it. It's the highest upside to play that this turn. We get Furied, we get Furied. Elemental. Yep. And our opponent plays a Wave Skimmer. Wave Sifter, sorry. I'm going to hold up Bull here. Might make a difference in terms of if they go for things with Goblin Dark Dwellers, perhaps, if they think they have a little more life to work with than they actually do. I don't... Oh, they must need... Oh, wow. So they're going to... So they go to 5, Cascade into Glimpse, go to 3, and now you're just dead. Alright, Glimpse combo. If I recall correctly, they do board in ley lines, so I'm going to want to check that. Oops. tomorrow. I think we'll bring in the 2 Wear Tears and the 4 Rolling Vortexes. Searing Blaze can be okay in some spots against some of their creatures, but it's not always the best. Wave Sifter, Leyline, Foundation Breaker, Subtlety. So got some of those and Gas Roof Bolts. Alright, this hand's pretty reasonable overall. Dealing with 2 1/1s. Wave Sifters could actually be, or these guys could kind of be a little bit annoying. That's going to cast the Wave Sifter. So if they hit a Glimpse this game, we're in a lot of trouble. You know, 2 of the cards in their hand are Chancellors. But I presume they have a... Yeah, the way they're going, I presume they had a Cascader. It's the difference of play versus draw here. It goes to 11, and they'll go to 9. Okay, so they don't hit an Omnath, so maybe we have a chance. Switch a basic here, bolt you. Let's see, if they have a force, they need to use it there. Otherwise, they're just dead. And they're dead. Alright, nice to get on the board with a win against Glimpse combo. Alright, back for match number 2. Sand's keepable. Get to go Bolt on 1, Eidolon on 2, or Searing Blaze on 2. So. Going against Mulligan to 6. Going to lead on the Inspiring Vantage over the fetch land because we want to leave the fetch land for Searing Blaze at a later point. Obviously not knowing where our opponent's on, but... Inspiring Vantage does obviously give a lot of information away, although Arid Mesa is generally only run in a deck like Burn. Okay, so... Cavern of Souls naming what? I feel like this is Titan? Amulet Titan? Just seems to be the creature we're most likely to be up against. Deck we're most up against. Alrighty. Yep, we're up against Amulet. Must be getting ready to cast an Azorius, that would be my guess. Searing Blaze here, put them to 6. And since they won't be able to do anything significant this turn because of the Summoner's Pack, they're probably dead. So it is nice to steal a win against Amulet. Not a huge fan about any of these cards against Amulet. Smash can obviously be reasonable. Path isn't the greatest, but it is a card. Smash is okay against Amulet and Urza Saga. Murtar obviously hits more in the form of Dryad. Searing Blaze is pretty bad in the matchup overall. And then Eidolon on the draw especially can be a little bit bad. I think beyond that, should need a couple copies of Lightning Helix since this isn't really a racing situation. Try it like that. I'll keep 7. We have a little bit of a difficult decision here with this 7-card hand. I think it's got enough upside to consider keeping it, but will we be able to deploy our spells quickly enough to kill them against a 7-card hand? I don't know, but we'll try it and see what happens. It's one of those matchups that you have to keep some hands that are YOLO hands. Of course, they have Grazer on 1. Let's just suspend Rift Bolt on one. You know, I'd like to get a Swiss Spear or Goblin Guide down, but it doesn't do anything this turn with Arboreal Grazer anyway, so... Our opponent's a little bit light on lands, because they should have 4 lands in play right now. Probably should have played Swift Spear here or there instead of Goblin Guide. We instantly hand them another land. Eidolon has not been, or Goblin Guy has not been very kind to us this game. Hydroid Krasis? Let's think about this. If I hit them with Boros Charm, they go to 8 and then to 3. They won't be able to cast anything of note this turn. Alternatively, if I just double strike the Eidolon, Jellyfish dies. I think we gotta play to our outs. I mean, there was some consideration to just double striking, you know, if they did whatever here. But now we have to draw a spell of some kind next turn. Either a removal spell for Hydroid Krasis or just some type of burn spell to kill them. That should do it. Just get a good win against Amulet. Yeah, you got a very land-heavy hand. It happens sometimes. This is generally a very rough matchup, so it's kind of nice to get away with a win here. Alright, back for game match number 3 on the play. hand's very good. It's got Goblin Guy, it's got Eidolon, it's got Searing Blaze. We're on the play, so even if we're facing down like a Ragavan or something, we still have an answer to it. Okay, Thoughtseized on one. Or not. Okay. Okay, do a Boulder on Holy Heat. So we're either up against Jund or Rakdos. Why would they play a fetch we don't know about? Tarmogoyf? Okay, got a 3/4 Tarmogoyf, sure. Okay, that one's going to terminate, which is fine. It goes to 12. They'll minimum have to go to 9 to deal with this Eidolon. Okay, never mind. Pounce of the virtual 1. The other hand is Thoughtseize, Verdant Catacombs, 2 unknowns, apparently. Okay, just pass. No reason to do anything else. Because we can get caught in a weird situation where we have some card we can't cast. Okay. What cards did they reveal? Revealed Vraska. Yeah. Oh no, Grist, not Vraska. Vraska would actually be worse for us than Grist at this point. Alright, that should do it. Ooh, against Jund. Tarmogoyf and Ooze are obviously annoying as far as bringing in Sanctifier. possibly Liliana, and still some question if we should bring in some number of these. Bring in 2 of these and 2 path, perhaps. We don't know if they're on the whatchamacallit variant. Don't know if they're on the Urza Saga variant right now yet. Searing Blaze generally performs poorly against them, but they might have Ragavan and Darcy. Beyond that, we shave a couple Eidolons on the draw. A couple copies of Skewer the Critics can be sometimes awkward to trigger. Go like that. This hand is a mulligan, though I'm not very happy about mulliganing against an attrition-based deck. This hand is not the greatest, but we do keep it, I think. Bottom the Lightning Helix, simply because it's the one card we can't cast in this hand. Probably debating if they wanted to cast Inquisition or hold up Fatal Push. Apparently they decided they want to cast... It might be casting Monkey too. Alright, holding up Bolt here. For them to go to combat. Don't want to let them get ahead on mana and resources. So 3/4 Goyf, sure. Play out Swift Spear because no reason not to. Yes, this exposes it to removal spells, but they're going to probably hold up removal most likely anyway. Presume a Liliana coming down, maybe a Cold Guns command here. Hey, Ile DHD, not Cold Guns command. Get rid of one of these. Thanks for the follow. Oh, you subscribed. Never mind. Thank you very much. I didn't realize that was a subscribe, not a follow. Derpa derpa. Thank you very much. How's your day going? Alright, so... Life is what, a 4/5? I don't like doing this, but it is what it is. Feels like it might be incorrect to do this, but I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Might have been correct to just go face, but I don't know that we can race a Tarmogoyf with just... I don't know, have another Tarmogoyf, sure. Alright, well now we got the awkward situation of... Do I risk holding on to Searing Blaze and hoping we can kill this Goyf with another burn spell? Or do I just... pass the turn? I think we'll just hold on to the land, see what happens. This is the exact kind of thing that punishes us, unfortunately. Alright, and now I don't think we win this race unless we top deck like Path and the stuff. That was the danger of obviously using 2 burn spells to kill Tarmogoyf. They could be at a virtual 4, but then I think we'd be dead by now anyway with 2 Tarmogoyfs. So, you know, the danger of playing against Jund is these are the kind of games that they actually win in the matchup. It's like Eidolon literally does nothing here except actually increase the size of their Tarmogoyf. So I think we play to our Path to Exile out here, and we draw a Bolt. Okay. Shouldn't have auto-passed here. I think we're going to get hit by a... Okay. Alright. Moving on. We at least mostly certain they're not Urza Saga variant now, because we haven't seen it in 2 games. They do have Monkey, which obviously makes leaving in Searing Blaze a little bit easier. Eidolon gets a little bit better on the... Deflecting Palm can be like okay, but not the best in some situations. Sanctifier, you really maybe want the 3rd copy. Card... Boros Charm. Jund isn't necessarily a creature-based matchup, so maybe Skullcrack goes out. Shade 1 Eidolon. Because you only want to draw 1 Eidolon against Jund. You don't really want to draw 2. Especially if they have a Tarmogoyf draw, which is like their single best card in the matchup. Another 5-lander, man. This hand's pretty good. Put back Sunbit Canyon, I guess. Okay, Bloodstained Mire, sure. Alright, so we're going to attack with Goblin Guide, see if they block. Okay. So Tarmogoyf at most will be a 1/2. gets yet another land off of us. Okay, they have another Tarmogoyf. Yeah, monkey. Okay. Okay. Remove the monkey. Liliana isn't enough here. Feels like a Kolaghan's command. Alright, got there against Jund. Largely because of Sanctifier. It was hard to say. I was trying to think of what they could possibly have. I don't think there's anything in instant speed other than maybe something like Weather the Storm, like removal spell and Weather the Storm. Could have gotten them like 6 life and killed one of our creatures. So I was trying to think of what the possibilities were. But they may have to go for the attack and see what happened. So, let's pick up the win. Alright, back to match number 4. We're on the play, which is nice. This hand is really sketch. So, this is one of Burn's better hands. Just like this 5-card hand would be among Burn's best starts. But the problem is if we flood out, we die. We do have the Canopy land. So I am tempted to keep this hand, but... No, mine was last month. Beginning of last month. We'll risk it, but I most people advise laying down 4 land hands in Burn. And I'm generally among them, but that's one of those hands that you just consider keeping. Somehow I knew this deck was going to pop up. Alright, well, and if our opponent gets to successfully equip a hammer this turn, we're just in a lot of trouble. So... yeah, I was just laughing because literally I was talking to my wife because she likes to bring up the card or bring up the word Hammertime. This is obviously a setup by our opponent. They probably have a hammer in hand. Actually, though, is that worth it? Actually, maybe worth it to try to kill this. But I think given... I should have played Sunbay Canyon here. Because what's going to happen is our opponent is going to play a hammer here at instant speed. Okay, they're not. Wow. I was expecting them to play a hammer at instant speed there. Like equip a hammer to their dude and kind of go to town from there. Okay, Stoneforge. Now they have a Shadow Spear. Okay. This is very much a setup. If they had a hammer there, we just got blown out, so it's probable I shouldn't have attacked at all. No, I think we just lose. Just pass. No matter what we do here, we're just dead, so let's just pack it in. You know, they have at least one hammer, possibly two, plus they're getting one next turn, so this is one of those games where you're just like, bringing in my entire sideboard. Bringing in all this. Boros Charms are kind of medium in this matchup. Skewers can be kind of medium. It's possible I should have just removed the Stoneforge Mystic and not given them credit for the hammer, because there's a good chance if they had the hammer that they would have tried to save the Esper Sentinel. So maybe I was supposed to go for the bolt on the Stoneforge Mystic and just risk getting blown out by the hammer. So oh, this hand. We seem to have a lot of 1-lander, 4/5-landers tonight. Don't think on the play we can risk this hand, unfortunately. It's got a lot of what we want, but... And then you mull into a terrible hand like this. Okay. Kind of hoping they go Sigarda's 8-on-1 here. Yep, Esper Sentinel, of course. Not too much of a reason not to Lava Spike there. Yep, that's a good magic card. think we have to push damage here. Their opponent in a position where they're compelled to play the hammer. And if you're asking why I have Skullcrack in the main, it's because a 2-2 split on it's been kind of the norm. A lot of people are playing just to have some anti-life gain stuff. A lot of people don't like playing Lightning Helix in a Ragavan meta, etc. I just find it convenient to have some form of anti-life gain in the main deck, in addition to bringing in Roiling Vortexes. Sideboard Eidolon gets a little bit worse. Skewer is a little bit more interesting as it interacts with their stuff. Not the best hand. Actually, on a 4-lander, I probably should have mauled, but, you know, sure. Play this and pass. Play this and pass. Problem we have here is our opponent has Spell Pierce, we just get blown to Kingdom Come. But I should have played the Sacred Foundry there. Yeah, that's why I should have played the Sacred Foundry untapped, because that would have allowed us to hold up Path here. I mean, as is, we get to hold up Smash plus Path, I guess, which isn't as interesting. If they have Pierce or whatever, they get us here. Yeah, Blacksmith skill, anything. So it's just hard to beat them when they get into that situation. Alright, final match, we're on the draw. This hand's okay, not super exciting. We don't have a 1-drop creature or a bolt to deal with, like an early 1-drop, so we're kind of priced into Riftbolt into Eidolon. which is a fine opening, but not our... Okay, this isn't the best of matchups, but they are starting on a bit of an awkward start for them, so... Okay, run in 6, sure. It's like the most non-impactful card in this matchup unless it's ultimating. They could be on... Is it possible they're actually on... Huh. Sure. So don't actually want to cast anything here because we're going to need a Skull Crack in response to the Archon trigger, discard a land. Sure. And Skull Crack in response. Discard, I guess, this one. Indeed, War Dog, indeed. And I just gave up this game. Did I? So they go back to 5. Okay, as long as I'm careful here and they don't have another creativity, we're okay. Ish. Because now I have to draw something, which is not good. I screwed up this game. I should have fetched a, whatchamacallit here. Okay. And the deck bailed this out. Yeah, we should have won that game quite easily. Instead, I almost punted it away. Okay. It's been doing alright, War Dog. It's been doing alright. Opponents bemoaning their luck, and I'm just letting them know that it legitimately didn't matter. They were dead either way. If I would have played correctly, they were dead either way. Actually, Smash isn't that good against them, mostly. Wear Tear. Didn't even know that I actually won anything in this matchup. I don't think they're usually a Chalice deck. I think the combo is usually just enough to kill us. Flusterstorms. Doesn't look like they're usually on anything that we care about. Path just isn't really where we want to be in that situation. Vortex is meh. I guess we could like bring in 2 of these for 2 Serum Blazes, or maybe 2 Rift Bolts, because they do sometimes play. I guess they're not playing Teferi in this version, but do the split like that. I'm looking at a 3-lander. That's a pretty decent opening, so we can keep it. Path that. No, the problem with Path is they've already. They've already gotten value out of the Archon, and the life gain is more of the problem. So then it becomes like a 3 or 4 for 1 at that point, and it's just simply not worth it. So I was just going to play a bunch of blockers. This way, even if they Flusterstorm the either one, they still have to take damage or jump with the Swift Spear here. So obviously they're just going to go block. So we at least get one of their guys out of the way. But drawing 2 lands just didn't help. So they have a creativity here, we're just pretty much dead. Wear Terror is just so tempting to keep them from getting their guys. Maybe we bring these in anyway, even though they don't feel the best. This hand's aggressive, but just has too many lands. This hand has the opposite problem, but I do think we have to keep it. hold up Smash in case they try to go for creativity here. So we actually get them here. And got the 4-1. Nice. So it was nice to get the 4-1 tonight. I do really think I've kind of liked where this version's come along to. I like the Sanctifiers over the cores because simply you see less of the Burn Mirror and more of red-black based matchups. You want the core fire or Sanctifier and Vec in, plus obviously its presence in the Murktide matchup. I'm liking the split on the Smash and Wear Tear. The main deck I've been happy with for quite a while once I got rid of the Fiery Islet for the Soketsun. That has come up a couple times. Plus it's another painless red source, which sometimes I felt that we've taken a little bit too much damage with the Burn mana base, which seemed counterintuitive, but when you're playing cards like Eidolon and such, 5 copies of Canopy Lands can get a little bit damage heavy. And then, I'm never the hugest fan of Path or Deflecting Palm in any meta, really. You do want some amount of answers to things like Goyf and Murktide and such, but I don't like overloading on those. That's why I only put 2 or 3 in my sideboard at most, simply because I don't want to be bringing in cards that I'm not the hugest fan of. The Hammertime matchup just felt... I haven't played against it in so long that it's a difficult matchup to gauge if you're actually able to play it a lot, and then not seeing it and probably... I don't even think I've played against it since I've come back to streaming on a weekly basis. I don't know that I've literally played against the deck at all, so, just kind of chuckling, because I was telling my wife, I said, now watch, I'm going to run into it tonight, and of course I did. So, but yeah, 4-1 to kind of finish out the Streets of New Capenna meta, as Dominaria United will be, I think, out next week. I don't know if it's out on Magic Online next week or not, but I do know that it'll start releasing on Arena, I think this coming Thursday, and I think the reset is like Tuesday or something, so this is the final league of this particular quarter. But nice to finish up with a 4-1. This has been the most trophies we've had in quite some time, and I haven't even played that many leagues compared to what I used to do, so feels like Burns in a decent position, although we've had some rough leagues, but overall we've had quite a few good finishes with regular Boros. So, but hopefully this will be up later in the week on the MTG Nexus VODs channel. There should be quite a bit of content coming out on that channel this week, just because I need to get all the stuff that's going to expire with Dominaria United coming out. So that's it. Hopefully see you for the next stream. And this has been John for MTG Nexus. Hope to see you guys for next week's stream.